Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central, yada yada yada, let's get to the point. Sigma has his origin trailer released and also a shot of him in game which I'm showing you on the screen. Some really cool stuff to note, he is going to be a Talon tank and also from the sounds of it he is a Dutch character too. Now there's one thing that I wanted to make clear before we start talking about his potential abilities. There was a thing that was posted yesterday of him having a railgun and all of these other abilities. Turns out that that's clearly not true because you haven't seen a railgun on this hero at all, so you can kind of debunk that as being the official release of his abilities being announced. That's not true. Debunked. Right, now we're going to go over the key information, and there's some really cool stuff that links Sigma into the game. If you haven't seen the origin trailer, I've linked it in the description and the comments below. Watch it. It's the best thing that Blizzard have put out, even animated shorts. Honestly, it's pretty cool. I am really excited for this hero as he's very clearly unhinged. The first thing that I wanted to start with though was this post that came out of Nyeri, who I believe is one of the Korean community managers, but has put out a bit of gameplay, as you've seen on screen, of Sigma in game. So what are Sigma's abilities? Well, there's definitely a focus around these two orbs that are in Sigma's hands right now, and that tells a lot about the character. He is an astrophysicist trying to control gravity, trying to control the power of a black hole, and it seems that he's been able to do that at the expense of his own sanity. Something went horribly wrong, and his personality was split seemingly into three people. The first is this frail old man that's very focused on the music, the melody, which is really cool and has a nice little connection to the character which I'll go over towards the end of this video. It's really worth looking at because it's really clever from Blizzard. But anyway, that's the frail side of him, you know, very nervous, very unsure and unsettled, the crazy side of him. Then you have the other two sides which are very much Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll is very much just Sigma normally, a scientist willing to push the limits, put himself on the line in the name of science and progressing the human race. Something obviously went wrong, and the Hyde form is very much the side that you're seeing on screen, with the Talon aspect, him looking very angry, focused on saying stuff like violence, and you can tell from his facial expression he's up to no good. Probably the coolest thing that came out of this trailer comes right at the end. Listen to this. So as you can probably tell, that's a voice being reversed. So what happens when you reverse this footage? This is what it sounds like. Release me! So we might have some unzoff stuff going on with this hero, especially when you pair it with what the tweet says. Introducing Sigma, an eccentric astrophysicist who hopes to unlock the secrets of the universe, unaware he has been used as a living weapon. Which is pretty crazy. There's like some satanic shit going on with this hero. But alas, what are his abilities? What do the two orbs mean? And I think it's fairly clear that there's going to be a sense of duality in the playstyle of Sigma, specifically push and pull. He's an astrophysicist, he wants to control gravity, but one thing that I did note from this origin trailer are the colours of the black hole. In some shots it's black and orange, in some shots it's black and blue. However, this duality shot that I'm showing you on screen, where this is no doubt the time where his personality split and he broke apart, whatever, you can see both colours used in this image. Not to mention the orb flying from one side of the screen to the other. I feel like this is going to be a really big hint to how the character is going to work. Another key thing to really note from some of this footage it's seen on screen is the fact that he's using debris in this shot in order to cover him almost like a shield. So I feel like he's going to be able to pick up sort of maybe enemy projectiles, bullets, things around the map in order to make a shield from them. It almost reminds me of Mag from Warframe, where you have the ability to take incoming bullets, use it as a form of shield to absorb it, mitigate the damage coming in, and then throw it right back out at the enemy. Might not be as strong as you're seeing from the Warframe trailer on screen, but I think that that's going to be the basis of his playstyle, being able to pull objects towards him, pull in enemy projectiles and shots, being able to use it as a force field, block all the damage coming in, and then maybe fire it back. With the focus on that, there might be abilities to pull people out of the sky, to pull them to the ground, to pull them towards him, almost like a 5-man Roadhog hook, but I feel that that's less likely. Also, we're not 100% sure on this, but from the gameplay that I highlighted before, it looks like he could be hovering. So maybe one of the aspects of his playstyle is that he could just hover around the map, being able to control projectiles and use that as a way to mitigate damage, because after all, he is a tank. So maybe it is kind of like Defense Matrix, but he can take the bullets that are coming in, then use them as his own ammo, firing back. Kind of like Neo from the Matrix kind of stuff. That's really all we know so far, but there is one really cool thing that I wanted to highlight with the connection of Sigma to the rest of the story. The first thing I wanted to mention was the music. When Sigma, the frail version, was, really focusing on the melody, one thing that he says to himself is the element of freedom, and that basically sums up how this music works. The melody that's been played in the teasers this weekend was, according to Twitter posts and stuff, Eric Satie Nossian #1. The song itself isn't necessarily important, but the Nossian aspect is. It's a type of composition that Eric wrote himself, and the thing that makes it really interesting is its use of free time. Most music you listen to has a time signature, a tempo, and usually works in a bar division of 4, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The important thing about this music is it doesn't follow any form of time signature. It speeds up and slows down without any form of constraint. The music was also defined as being highly experimental, which is pretty much suiting up Sigma's character as a whole. Like Sigma said, what is this melody? Freedom. And that basically describes the kind of music it is. There's no constraints, there's no format, he kind of just does what he wants. Which I thought was a really neat trick from Blizzard and just really smart to sort of connect that to the hero. Not to mention, Sigma does connect to the overall universe of Overwatch, and it actually has a lot to do with Lijiang Tower. It's clear from the origin trailer that the reason why Sigma was wearing an orange jumpsuit was because he was incarcerated but was involved on a space mission. For those that don't know, there is an international space station in the Overwatch universe, and we can actually get a good glimpse of it in the Lijiang Control Center. The really cool thing about this though is if you look around the map, you can see that something is going wrong on the monitors, and if you get very close to this sort of projection of the space station, you can hear an alarm that sounds very similar to the alarm from yesterday's teaser. Bit more information from Lijiang is there's a news ticker that's coming on for Night Market, and to translate it, it says Lijiang Interstellar to start a new group of top aerospace projects, attempted to re-establish contact with the Horizon moon base. The current CEO of the group was once a moon base station scientist, and that person was Dr. Chow. She knows Winston. There was a voice line between Mercy and Winston talking about how Dr. Chow's health was affected by being in space. And Lijiang are also known for having really horrible experiments happen, such as Horizon, you know. So Sigma was a scientist, tested stuff, became mentally unhinged, maybe incredibly powerful, and thus was contained by Lijiang in some format. He escaped. He's now rocking along with Talon by the looks of things. But yeah, basically some Fantastic Four kind of shit going on at the moment. Another big tease onto what Sigma might be able to do comes off the Play Overwatch website. It says on screen, slow down time, rain destruction from above, yada yada yada. No hero could slow down time. One could definitely rain destruction from above, but this might be a brief tease into what may be coming with Sigma. I don't know how I feel about him being able to control time, but him being able to control gravity and black holes, they're all connected somehow. It might be a really interesting element from the character's perspective. But that is everything that I wanted to go over in this video. Not only going over what the abilities may be for the hero, why he's probably the coolest thing that Blizzard have added into the game so far, but also a bit of background and why the music's so important to the character. Really nice touch from Blizzard, really clever. We've actually got some really cool lore around the character that's just been added. Poor Zenyatta doesn't have anything at this point. But thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Take care, we'll see you next time.